art. So I hope you're all looking at our presentation. As to contemporary art, I have to say that I'm not such a connoisseur of art. I can't say that I really know a lot about it or a lot of different artists or even art styles, but I do enjoy from time to time going to modern art galleries and seeing some interesting works. So I'm quite open-minded, I think, when it comes to art, although I have no real knowledge about it. So let's go around the room. Everyone can introduce themselves and tell your opinion on contemporary art. Andrei, why don't we start with you today?
Hello, my name is Andrei. I'm from Odensov in the neighborhood of Moscow, and actually I can't say that I'm an art buff because I have strong technical background and especially I'm far from contemporary art. It's completely beyond my understanding. Grievous, maybe it is to confirm, but it is so. Sometimes I enjoy visiting a picture gallery or a theater, but only classic art, which maybe hundreds years of age, but not modern at all, unfortunately.
And are there any particular styles? Do you think it needs to be like a realistic representation of the scene that you're looking at, or is it okay for it to be a little bit surreal or a little bit conceptual with this 100-year-old rule?
Yes, I see. Maybe I've stopped in my art understanding at the end of 19th century, maybe the works of Manet, Impressionism, but no further.
Yeah. So into Impressionism, but nothing more.
Yes.
Yeah, great. Okay, thanks, Andrei. Aisha, what's your opinion?
Yeah, my name is Aisha. I'm from Tashkent. To say truth, I'm not a culture vulture. I'm not an expert. Rarely visit some art galleries. As Andrei said, yes, I love theater, maybe movie, but I'm far from art. But I am eager to know more about it. Maybe in future I would read more. Maybe may attend some museum gallery, art galleries like Tritsyakovsky Gallery or Tate in London someday.
Yeah, and so are you like Andrei with this sort of limit to say, okay, if it's less than 100 years old, then maybe it's not so interesting? Or so the Tate, for instance, in London is really a modern art gallery. Is this also interesting for you?
I'm interested in all because all contemporaries has its some beauty things. I think whole periods worth to be maybe interested or even maybe studied at least.
Yeah. So there are beautiful aspects of art, of modern art as well.
Yes. For example, modern art I prefer more because maybe it's for my understanding it's more easy than old art.
Easier to do or easier to interpret, easier to look at? Easier in what way?
Easier to watch and like not understand. Mostly it's difficult to understand, but it's just beautiful to observe.
So it's easier to observe, maybe. Yeah, great. Thanks, Aisha. Alia. Hello.
Hello, Steve. I'm Alia. I'm from St. Petersburg, and I like contemporary art because it's unusual. It's easy for perceiving, and it's really interesting for all ages. I think it's not easy for critics, but it's kind of perceive this world.
Yeah, and so do you have a preference for any sort of modern art or any era, or are you open to all art of all eras?
I like something like Tony Craig, maybe it's a sculptor.
Yeah, a sculptor.
Yeah, and he did he made something like teeth,
Oh.
big, very big teeth in one room.
Okay, like teeth as in like a mouth altogether, or just like one
Yes.
tooth and one tooth and one tooth?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it. That's it. Yeah.
Wow, interesting. I look forward to hearing more about your experience of modern art, Alia. You seem more knowledgeable than the rest of us so far.
Yeah. Now it is going. This exhibition is going in Hermitage.
Cool. Great. Thanks, Alia. So, Sergey, we're on the first page of our presentation, and we're introducing ourselves and giving our opinion on this question of what we think of contemporary art.
Hello, everybody. I found this topic very interesting, and I hope to hear something new about this very challenging area. Considering my taste, I think that most of the participants will be rather traditional in their views on art, so I will try to be apologetic of the modern art. So let's say I like it, I love it, I couldn't live without it.
Oh, wow. Are you saying this because you're a contrarian, or you're playing devil's advocate, or because you really do feel like this?
I'm doing this for all these reasons, and one more and most important, because this is discussion club, and I think, or speaking club, and I think without having different views and opinions, we could have a difficult time to discuss something. So
Wow.
Otherwise it will be only questions from our great host and answers from poor pupils.
I appreciate your point of view, Sergey. Thank you. I'm sure we would survive, but thanks for making it a discussion. The vocabulary I used here, contrarian, would be someone who always goes against other people. So black, white, hot, cold, tall, small. This would be the sort of idea of a contrarian. And the other phrase is to play devil's advocate. And this is where we take a view which is not necessarily our own view, but we argue it for the sake of the discussion in this way. So Sergey, it seems like today you're playing devil's advocate. So thank you for taking the responsibility of doing this.
Thank you.
So let's move on to our next slide then. So here we're thinking about some particular media or methodologies for art, and we can talk about if we consider these to be art or not. So, Sergey, I'll stay with you. Body art, would you consider that to be art?
Definitely yes, and the unique trait of this art that not only artist is actively participating, but also object of the art. I mean, body. If we are talking about more traditional forms of this art, it's probably tattoo, and I could tell you that I have about 30% of my body covered with tattoos, and I just started doing this, and I'm actually enjoying that, especially attention from all my friends, relatives, and new acquaintances when they see me. And I'm trying to do this tattoo on some visible areas because I don't have perfect bodies, so I don't want to show them my big stomach or something like that. So I'm doing this tattoo on some open areas like neck and hands, and it looks great, I could tell you.
Yeah. And so for you, there's something special about the living canvas of the body, not just it being a passive, painting on a wall or something like this, because you can move around. There's something extra special about this.
Absolutely, and modern techniques in this type of the art allows you to change and alternate the painting, so you are not like obliged to stay with what you started. This is common opinion that you couldn't change anything. You couldn't remove tattoo completely, but you could change it drastically. And there are some really great cosmetics available that could cover tattoo. If, let's say, you go to interview for taking some role in, let's say, government, you could always cover your tattoo, because with this tattoo you probably will not pass this interview if you're trying to be like authority member.
Yeah, I suppose it depends on the job you're going for, but yeah, broadly yes. Let's see if we can find someone to disagree with you. Andrei, what's your view on body art? Are you do you agree with Sergey that it's real art or not? Andrei, I think you're on mute just now. If you're
moment, yes.
Oh, yep.
I do agree with Sergey that sometimes tattoos can be treated as art, as body art, but definitely not all of them, because most tattoos, how to say, are, in my opinion, vulgar and very far from being called an art. Actually, yes, and yes, I was thinking about nail art. I thought you would ask me about it at the next point.
Well, I will. I'll hold you just now then, because I definitely will come back and ask you about it. But for body art, you're of the opinion that it can be art, but most of it is not.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Alia, what's your view on this?
1 second. I think body art is a kind of art. Maybe partly it is just for word, or maybe it can be beautiful but word, and I think it's modern and impressive, but in part examples.
And so, in your view, would you say, as Andrei would, that there are some examples of body art which is truly art, but that there are more examples of not? Or would you say that the percentage is, or the proportion is somehow different, that most of it is art, but there are some bad examples of it?
I think the most examples of body art, it's just like for entertainment of person who has this body art, but in some examples that is really interesting, that's really beautiful, and it is really art, because these artists choose social or just beautiful, or really world unique examples, themes for their work.
So is this then that the intention of the person getting the tattoo is also important, that if it is just for entertainment that it can't be art, or that it should be intended to be art to be considered as art?
I think it's a difficult question.
It is. That's why I asked you.
And controversial parts. These questions. I think it's really difficult to estimate what is art and what is not art.
And so this is a perception or a personal, subjective idea, that it's not possible for us objectively to say, yep, this counts as art, this does not.
I think if this, if you like one kind of art, or one example of art, you can how to say it, consider it as art.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just personal opinion.
Yeah, definitely personal, subjective. Okay, Ayesha, what's your opinion on this? Who are you closest to agreeing with?
I agree with guys, but I want to add that I don't think that body art is that art like highbrow art. It's
Okay.
contemporary art. Maybe everybody understands it differently. For example, I don't understand tattoos or piercings when you like abusing your body.
Mm-hmm.
But another person like it, fond of it, like it want to show something like maybe protest with these pictures, because I know all tattoos has its meanings, and if you do it, you exactly should know what are you doing, because another person could not understand you.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if he aware of meaning.
Yeah, you mentioned something earlier about tattoos not being highbrow. Is this then that it's impossible to get a highbrow tattoo, or that most tattoos are not highbrow?
No, highbrow. I mean highbrow art. Like it's just contemporary. Maybe in next century it won't be so popular like today.
Mm-hmm. So if I got a tattoo of Van Gogh's sunflowers on my chest, beautifully, accurately depicted, beautiful, if this were on a painting, it would be $65 million, but because it's on my body, nope, not highbrow.
No, I don't think so, really.
Okay,
because we can watch this Van Gogh in art gallery, not on your body.
I could stand in the art gallery too. I'll take my shirt off. Here you go. Yep, just here.
Maybe I will change my mind during this conversation.
Okay. Well, we hope to convince and persuade. Does anyone disagree with Ayesha that's about tattoos being or having the possibility to be highbrow art? Sergey?
I think definitely yes, and I also would like to point out that Aisha, sorry if I pronounce your name wrongly, but it wrote here like Aisha in Russian, brought another kinds of body arts. It's not only tattoo, it's also piercing, it's also painting, and if you enter something like body art in your search engine and look into the images, you will see that there are some really beautiful compositions, especially when they use perfect human body as the material for even bigger installations, like several bodies are composed to create some bigger picture, and painting on the body is added to create even stronger impression. This is really something, and this is not anything that is not reversible. So reversible, you could always clear this painting, so no damage for your health or something like that. And then I'm now talking absolutely seriously. And this is on contrary with body art that assumes that you do real body alterations. Like piercing is probably easiest form of this, and there are some heavier approaches like changing shape of your teeth, like they cut your teeth so that they look like you are like lion or tiger, or even more extreme, like adding something to your brows, like really heavy piercing. And there are some extreme cases. Probably you heard about this. It was in news. Some man from England, I believe.
The tiger guy.
I'm not sure how they call it. Probably the pirate guy, because he is really in with his parrots. He has a lot of them. So he started from colored tattoos and ended up with surgically removing his ears. So he made the surgery with removal of his ears, and now he planned to change his nose to be more like parrot. So
more like a beak.
Yeah, and this is kind of extreme.
Yeah, I've seen a similar thing for a tiger or a cat in some way. Someone altering their body to look more like this. If I can get to Aisha's point about highbrow or lowbrow, though, are you saying, Sergey, that it is possible for body art to be highbrow art, not just fleeting contemporary ideas?
Absolutely, I think this is very true, and there are well-known artists who work in this area, especially in the area of photography. They create beautiful compositions, and they are well-known.
Okay.
Look at them.
Yeah, great. Thank you. I'm going to move on. Oh, unless anyone has anything more to add about body art, I'm going to move on to nail art. And Andrei, you were so eager earlier to jump into it, so why don't you lead us off? Would you consider nail art to be art?
Yes. As we can see, there is an example of so-called nail art on the slide. Very sophisticated construction, so to say. But in my opinion, nail art doesn't fulfill the necessary criteria of art. First of all, it's not persistent because you can't store it for a long time. You just some master can create it with your nails. You can go to some party, show it to your friends, but then all these art, so-called, should be removed because it's impossible to live everyday life with such peculiar things on your nail. And so, first of all, it's not persistent, and second one, it's very difficult to make the result of this nail art available for people. You can't organize a show or put it into gallery. How can you organize a display of nail art?
Get 20 people standing there like this.
Yes, it's very strange. So I think it's just a kind of trade. Do you understand what I mean? Like hairdresser or
Okay.
cuisine, I do not consider them to be art.
Okay. So because of the impermanence and the commercial aspect of it,
not commercial, because art should influence people. Its main goal to convey some ideas to other people, what artists wanted them to realize. But it's very difficult to do with nail art because of its persistence and very small audience.
Okay. Alia, you were talking about teeth earlier. So what about another body part? What about nails?
About nail art, I can say that is in our presentation. It's really interesting kind of art, I think, because it's unique work, and it can't be on the exhibition in gallery, but it's really interesting, and it can be can be shown in the internet, social media, and I think it's a modern type of how to show your work in the for many people in the internet.
So just because you can't go to a gallery doesn't mean this can't be shared or shown around the world.
Yes, I think it's good example for show your art in the alternative gallery in Google.
Yeah, Google image search. That's the biggest art gallery in the world, right? So in your view then, Alia, you would say, yeah, if it's done well, if it's done in a way to provoke thought or to influence people, then it is art? Or do you think, as Andre, that it's still, even being able to share it, that it's still not really proper art?
I think if you give society unique and interesting content, it can be art. But if you just copy and paste, it's not art. It's not your work.
Yeah, so it's about the idea behind this, and this being a unique idea, a unique proposition.
Yeah.
And however you express this unique thought, it's art.
Your personal vision of world, of society. I think it's a good example of art.
Yeah. Okay. Aisha, do you agree more with Alia or more with Andre?
I totally agree with Alia.
Okay.
That because of guys don't understand, I think, in nail art, such as girls do. For example, I'm come across with some nail artists that really do some real amazing things on nails. For example, for guys, maybe it's like polishing and that's all. But I saw that they modeling some sculptures on it, do flowers or something, and very, very delicate work. And painting the nails, I like really nail art. I don't want to say that it's highbrow art before, but it's like contemporary art. It wants to be. Because nowadays it's very topical, because every person, every woman want to be unique, want to be outgoing for it, and so, and a lot of in art industry, a lot of people that could give you what you want. For example, if you want to do
So
something.
for everyone who wants to be unique, who wants to have something special, they can go and get some special, unique pattern put onto their nails.
Yes. Maybe not you, but that person who do it, he's a really artist for me, because it's very delicate work.
Okay, thanks. Sergey, would this go into your thoughts of body art as well, that nail art is an extension of your ideas for this?
To some degree, yes, but I think if we compare scale of the events, you couldn't compare nail art with body art, and these illustrations on this slide basically show this perfectly. And I don't understand why the author of presentation put painting by Damien Hirst near to Alice Barlett. And maybe, by the way, maybe this is a good idea to show that in modern art anybody could consider himself artist, but I don't think you could compare influence of Damien Hirst with some enthusiast from, don't know, Facebook.
Yeah, but this goes to a different question, though. Is it only art if it reaches a vast influence? Is it only art if the artist becomes very popular?
This is always some sign of your achievement in the area. You could argue about formal techniques that modern artists could manage and control, but when you compare him with his peers, the result of his popularity is a real sign of his achievements and success. So, Damien
But
Hirst,
a sign of his success, not necessarily a sign of his artistry.
our goal is to achieve some success, being with our profession or ability to paint or to speak English. And considering this, I think you are very successful in speaking English. We are not so successful. And Damien Hirst definitely outperform all of us in modern art. He is able to sell dead sharks for really substantial amount of money. So
yeah, but I suppose the argument would be: does his ability to do this speak to him as an artist? Is he any better at art than someone who doesn't sell as much, or is he just more bankable because of his name, that I can pay a lot for him because I know I will get a lot for him? It's almost like an investment rather than necessarily a statement about how good his art is.
yes, I think this is very good question, and this is always question. And if we think about modern artists from previous century, like Pablo Picasso, he was also very successful entrepreneur, probably first, and only after that he was really, should I say, genius? No. But in business, he was genius for sure, because he was as young as 20-something, his earliest 20s, when he arrived to Paris, and he was accompanied not only by his friends but also his financial advisor. So he has financial advisor from the very beginning, and this I think this is very wise move, and probably this is why he ended up his career a little bit different than other modern artists of his era. He was living in his personal island in some castle, and he struggled to find materials for his paintings. There was an interesting story that his last paintings were painted on cardboard that were packaging material for the furniture and dishes that he bought for, when he sell his paintings on this cardboard. So it was like recycling, very, very environment friendly.
Very environmentally friendly, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
well done, Picasso.
But considering art itself, I'm not so sure. And he also marked his latest paintings not only with date on the painting, but also with time. So he usually paint like several paintings per day. So he was very productive and very successful business-wise.
Yeah. Okay. Great. We're moving to our next one now. Ali, I'll go with you for graffiti. Would you consider it to be art?
I think graffiti is a kind of street art. For example, Banksy, he's successful artist, I think, but we do not know who is it. And I think it's really interesting to see